Good evening. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfort Habit number 2. And I'm going to make a 3-part video again. This video is not for children. This video is about racial stuff. Because we had this discussion in my psychology class today. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it to light. This happens to have had 2 different females in my class. And if y'all watching, don't worry, I'm leaving names off, mostly because I can't remember your names. But also because there's a privacy law, or a privacy line rather, that I like to respect. Because there are some things, you just don't throw everybody's business out there unless you got some kind of political or profitable gain to this shit. And I'm not gaining anything by this, but I'm going to take this from an outside point of view going in for this first video. It's probably going to be a 3-parter. I'm going to try to keep this shit as short as possible because I'm going to attempt to eat cornbread again and pray like hell that my plate doesn't snap again. Alright, so today in class, racism came up. Giving you the cliff notes. And a young lady had said something about racism, and our instructor said that being angry technically is a choice. And the young lady had brought up something about being called a beaner or something, so she is of Latin descent. Alright, so now, here's where my feelings kick in. Alright, because racism is a very touchy subject. This is like the most touchiest subject on the planet, next to transgender equality and all the other stuff, and the red-headed stepchild in charge of the country. Racism is one of the things that no matter how you fight it or how much you try, if you haven't been the victim of it, if you haven't been the victim of racism, then you don't really know how a person who has been the victim of racism has preceded it or taken it or have dealt with it for the most part of their life. For me, for instance, I'm a 44-year-old man. I was born in 1973, August 23rd. Approximately 30-some-odd days after the death of one of the greatest martial artists in the world, or if not the greatest martial artist in the world, that would be Bruce Lee. If I am correct, his death date was July the 23rd, 1973. And if I'm not correct, then you guys can Google and fact check the shit out of it. And then you can leave it in the comments. Alright, so here we go. The young lady had mentioned something about being called the beaner and how it upset her racially. We also had discussion about height and stuff like that. That's not here or there because this video, for all ethical purposes, is about racism. Alright, I'm on the fence. Again, I'm more in the young lady's corner than the lady who is not of color, who has not been through that issue, but because she's a woman of a particular age, she's been through just as much, if not more, just nothing completely racial that I am aware of. However, that does not give her any disrespect on my end because of what women have gone through from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and I do respect women. So, coming from a person of color, because racism hits people of color differently than it hits people of non-color who haven't had a whole lot of racial attacks. Alright? 9 times out of 10, if you haven't been a victim of racism, you have no idea how it affects a person who has been. Sorry, text message. Sorry, text message. Anyway, if I can avoid that, I would be in great shape. Alright, so I'm a 44-year-old man. As I've spoken to you, if you've watched my channel before, You've seen damn near every racist video that I have posted, whether it be about the black color wheel, whether it be about Native Americans legally being Asians, whether it be about Mexicans legally being Native American, which also makes them Asians. It's a long, tedious process of evolution in the things that I have discussed on this channel. So why am I bringing this up? All right, I've been the victim of racism on all three flanks. All right, I've been the victim of racism from Native Americans. I've been the victim of racism from black people, and I have been the victim of racism from white people. Now, astonishingly enough, I've had less racism from Native Americans and white people than I've had from black people. Alright, so I have been a victim of reverse racism because they can look at me and be like, okay, well, we know you have black just because of your skin tone, but which skin tone? Do you really consider yourself a black person? I've had all kinds of racial shit. Applying for jobs have been systemically racially biased because they have looked at me and said, are you sure you're not a Mexican or from the Philippines or Hawaiian? I've been called everything but black by people who are black. Alright? So, yeah, I've been there. I haven't been called the beaner, but I have been called the spook and a spick and a slope and a wetback and a gook. Alright? Those are Asian and Mexican stereotypes which I have been called by black people. I have been the half-breed of everyone's joke of almost every ethnicity except for white people. Now, I've had two white people notice that I was partially Native American. Not the white people in my family, that is my extended family, which was my stepmother's children and all that, because they know that I love them more than life itself. And we have some issues. We're not currently talking, but they know that the love is still there. However, moving on, if you have not been the victim of some racial slur or racial attack, then you would not know where the young lady was coming from. I know where the young lady is coming from because before she was born, I was her. And I'm not saying I had a sex change or any of that crap, so don't go wrong with that. What I'm saying is that in this town of Charlottesville, Virginia, before Miss Heyer's passing last year, I have been somebody's half-breed. I have been somebody's nigger. I have been somebody's mutt. I'm okay with being a mutt, though, because it is what it is. I am part white, part Native American, and part black. You can put that in any order. It really doesn't matter. It won't change the fact that I am what I am. I am who I am, and I've had to accept the hand of fate because you can't change your race. Not literally. You can probably change it on a piece of paper, but you can't change it in the eyes of other people. And that is the thing that separates everyone on the planet. Because you might not mean to be racist. You might not mean to say a racist slur. You might just think that it's the thing to do because everybody is doing it. For black people, you got black people running around hollering at each other, nigga, 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 all damn day. And then you got white people who also use that word to other white people, nigga, 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 nigga. You don't have too many white people running around calling each other crackers or honkies. Alright? Black people ain't got but one word for each other, which is just nigger. Unless you go on the color wheel where you got people going lighty or darky, Wonder Bread, wheat bread, burnt toast. Oh, I suppose you guys haven't heard that. There you go. So, now you have some old 70s and 80s crap that probably came off of Good Times. Or whatever one that had rerun on it. Don't ask, I don't remember the name of the show. It's been a while since I've watched it. But you know, it's the same thing with certain shows not having too many black people in there, and then all black shows not having too many white people in there. So, political, racist, all the same jam to the one we put them on TV. The white people will go home and watch All in the Family. The black people will go home and watch The fucking Jeffersons, which was a spinoff from All in the Family. Or if you want to be really a big douchebag full of dick tips, you can go and watch Soap that only had one black guy in it, which was Benson, who got a spinoff in a show where he still was the only black guy. And then you had Silver Spoons, where they had all white guys and Alfonso Ribeiro shows up. Yeah. So, racially, again, I'm not here to put down anybody who is not of color. I'm not here to put down anybody who is of color. I'm here to make this blanket, blunt, true fucking statement. The fact of the matter is, if you have not been a victim of racism, you don't know how that shit feels. Racism is genetically charged emotionally because it strikes you from the heart. Now, you can have somebody walk up to you tomorrow and call you a fucking nigger, and two things can happen. You can walk away, feel some kind of way about it, or your reflex can kick in and you can hit them in the mouth. I will tell you about that in the next video. If I can stop this video.